This video is sponsored by Decalworks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
Hey everybody, how are you guys doing out there? Hopefully you guys are doing well. This is the latest RacerX garage build. We are in lovely Palmdale, California at LACR, Los Angeles County Raceway. Man, I used to spin some laps way back in the day here. But today we have a 2020 YZ450F built by Rob Healy. That name sounds familiar. Rob is the owner of N-Style. Yes, N-Style is still around. They have been around for 30 years. As you can see, the custom graphic kit on this YZ450F. But I know a lot about this bike. I've purchased one myself this year. It's one of my favorite bikes to ride, but I thought, why not? Let's do a garage build, YZ450F. Rob had one, so we're here. So let's go over what we did to this thing. First things first, the engine. Motorworks built the engine. We put a JE piston in this sucker, a little higher compression. Also, very important is a Vortex Ignition. Some of you guys out there wondering, the Yamaha Power Tuner app's pretty good. I understand that. We're going to go over that with you guys after we ride it. But a Vortex Ignition, wider parameters, different power feeling, kind of goes along with that high compression piston. Maybe you guys are thinking, why do I need more power? The Yamaha's fast. It's a different kind of power, people. It's a little massaged, maybe a little longer. Maybe I don't want as much bottom end, so we're going to try to massage that, test this a little bit, and give you guys some feedback. So Brad Thorne over at Motorworks put this motor together. He does good work over there. If you guys don't know about him, you should check him out. He's a really good dude. Also, of course, FMF Complete 4.1 system. And if you guys are looking down here, you see the Boyesen water pump cover and water pump to kind of cool this sucker down a little bit. This thing is mapped for VP T4 fuel. T4 is a direct pump replacement. If you guys are wondering that right now, gas prices are going down, and so is race gas. So you might want to check that out as well. And CV4 radiator hoses, and you got uni filter. It still has the stock cage in it that utilizes the backfire screen. We can discuss that after we ride that as well. But overall, not a lot done on paper. But the key things here that you guys got to pay attention to is the piston and the ignition, which we will talk about after we ride. All right, going over the chassis and the suspension a little bit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Graeme Brough. He used to be a factory Kawasaki suspension tuner back in the day. He has his own shop. He's done a lot of Canadian Kawasaki teams, the past 10 years or so. So we had him massage the suspension. The stock suspension on the YZ450F is great. I'm telling you. The stock stuff probably is the best set of suspension I've ever ridden in a production form, but I needed a little bit more hold up. So I asked Graeme to build me a fork that had a little bit more hold up, less diving, and a little bit more comfort on the shock. We also got some different hubs on there, a little bit stronger, faster USA hubs with Excel A60 rims. And of course, TM chain guide. We got a Vortex sprocket and chain. There's all different kinds of knit. We got Emig ODI lock-on grips. And some of you guys, we'll do a close-up here in a minute, but these pegs, super sharp. I don't know if you've seen these videos been going around on social media where guys are doing leg lifts on the sucker. You don't want to do it on these Pro pegs. So Pro peg titanium foot pegs, Renthal fat bar, and last but not least, we got some cool 30th anniversary N-Style graphics that has some really nice blue pinstriping tin foil in here that kind of pops off the sun. I'm sure you guys see that in the video. And another little thing that I thought it was cool, if you're getting older, you're a vet, 40 years old like myself, we got this cool power lift stand. Doesn't take any effort. You basically push a button, it goes up and down. If you're lazy, you're tired after a moto, it's kind of cool to have that, so wanted to mention that as well. And now if you know, you guys are familiar with Willie Amaradio. He is the guy behind Lightspeed Carbon Components. We have a carbon skid plate and fork protectors. Kind of a cool touch. I know Team Yamaha has been using him for a long time, so that is on here as well. To add a little bit more stopping power, since we got some more juice, we got some Galfer rotors and Dunlop MX33 tires set to 13 PSI. That's key for you guys out there. Set that sucker to 13 PSI if you're running MX33s. We're going to go on this LACR prep track, catch some air, blast some berms, get some good shots for you guys out there and give you guys some feedback on what it's like to ride a little bit of a different YZ450F. All right, guys, just spent a couple hours out at LACR riding this N-Style, that's what I'm going to call it, N-Style YZ450F. Brad from MotoWorks put a J&E piston in the sucker. Tokyo Mods mapped the Vortex Ignition. So I have a lot of time on this bike, as you know. On my personal test bike, I have over 80 hours, so I'm really familiar with this whole chassis and engine. And haven't been the one to really build a YZ450 engine. So I've had some bad experiences in the past with that, meaning that the chassis gets worse every time I try to build the engine. But to my surprise, the stuff that they did to this bike with the JE piston going up to a higher compression, as well as the Vortex Ignition, really broadened the power. I was thinking it's going to be coming out of a corner too much, or maybe a little herky-jerky coming through these corners where it unsettles the chassis. Tailored with this 4.1 exhaust and the way the power is delivered, super easy to ride, makes it fun to ride. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of guys, I don't say a lot, maybe 10 dudes here riding a private day here at LACR. Most of them are vet guys. I kept thinking about those kind of dudes out there while I'm riding this bike. Why? Because you could lug it. You could be lazy. Some of you guys out there saying, why do I need to build my 450? Well, if you're a lugger, I have a couple buddies that are lazy, just getting back into riding, they get tired. They're third gear type of riders. With this Vortex Ignition and the higher compression piston, it just makes it really easy and fun to ride in third gear. I didn't have to shift the whole time. Kellen's behind the lens today. I was out doing stuff. I literally was in third gear the whole day. Granted, it's LACR, it's kind of open and flowy, but man, I really couldn't believe how much fun it was to ride. The engine is super fun to ride. It revs out farther than stock and just has that what I call chuggability. If you guys don't know what that is, go to Racer X. We did some testing terms. Chuggability. So engine for me is tailor-made for like a vet rider. If you're an aggressive type of guy, you like to rev your engine, maybe this isn't the package, but for me, this is vet built, and to me, I think it'd be perfect for 30 to 50-year-old guys that really just want to go out and have fun and have a good time and do less work. So work smarter, not harder. That's kind of what this engine's tailored around. Graeme did the suspension for me and my weight. Again, LACR is kind of jumpy, flowy, not a lot of ruts, not a lot of chop, at least today. Very comfortable. Anytime you get on a Yamaha, you immediately go, wow. It's like a couch with performance. It's like you ever sat on the couch when you go furniture shopping with your wife, you sit on and you're just like, oh, that's nice, babe. Like, we need to get this couch. That's how I feel when I ride this bike. I was worried that Graeme would make this stuff too rigid, too stiff for me because I said, hey, I need a little bit of extra hold up in the fork on decel. No. Still had a lot of front end traction, had a lot of comfort. Again, not a lot of chop, but where I noticed it is on jump faces and landing. Sometimes I'm over jumping, sometimes I'm landing in these transition, these pockets that really load the chassis. It has a nice feel, a nice hold up. I've been riding a KTM a little bit the past couple weeks, and what I noticed from jumping on that bike to this bike is just I feel a lot less of the track on this machine. Again, makes it fun to ride, makes it easier to ride. That's what we all want when we ride dirt bikes. So Rob, Brad, and the guys, Tokyo, J&E Pistons, they did a great job of making a vet bike easier to ride for all of us out there that have a 9-to-5 job. That's what I appreciate. Some of us want to go rent a track, ride for 4 hours with our buddies, and then have to go to work, right? We want to have a safe ride, but yet have some fun. This Yamaha 450 today proved that very much to me. And also, usually a blue Yamaha fan, but I like the looks of this bike. Like, it's a little different. I like the subtle things that N-Style Rob did over, little blue trimmings, and it's like little tin foil type of thing. So very cool, nice touches. Usually not a lock-on grip guy, but these Emig grips, I'll have to give Fro some credit here. These grips are pretty nice and feel good on my palms. I've got pretty good hands. I got calluses built up, but for you guys that have baby hands, I think these grips are good. Another thing that I want to talk to you about too, usually always have stock hubs. Faster USA did a great job with the hub. I'm really picky about feeling the bike underneath me, and sometimes when I go an aftermarket hub, it gets rigid. It's not the case here. Still has that soft, supple feel, even with the A60s on. Usually A60s have a rigid feeling, so the combination between the Faster USA hubs and the A60 rim still feels nice enough to where I'm not getting all this harsh feeling when I'm hitting a bump. So overall, I had a great time today at LACR. Thanks to Rob over at N-Style. And if you're wondering, yes, N-Style is still around. Rob's been around for 30 years, so if you're looking to get some graphics done. All right, another thing I want to mention too is the brakes. Galfer rotors. We got Galfer brake lines. The Yamaha brakes are good. I'm not going to say they're great. They're not Brembo-ish. They're not KTM brakes, but a little bit extra power. I still have that linear pull, so they're not super grabby. I like that. I would say maybe they're, if I'm putting a percentage on it, 10 to 15% stronger, which is a lot in the brake world. So cool that Galfer comes up with something that actually works better without getting too grabby. And also a Hinson clutch. It's funny because the clutch is not something you talk about a lot, but the Yamaha clutch is very good, very durable, but I don't get that much life out of it. I get about 10 to 12 hours. With the Hinson setup, I can double that on this bike, and I still have a nice buttery clutch feel. So if you guys are wondering about a clutch basket or a clutch kit for your bike, Hinson does a great job. So overall, those two things really stood out to me today at LACR. Another thing that's cool that's not even this bike related is this power stand. Rob over at N-Style has something to do with this sucker. What I like is you're getting older. People are saying, if you can't put your bike on the stand, you shouldn't ride. That's bull crap, okay? We get older, we want to ride dirt bikes, but yet sometimes you want to yank that sucker on. Watch this. Go down, and you go back up. Just wave to your friends. They're out there heaving their bike. Power stand. It's pretty cool. All right, we'll check you on the next garage build. We got a bunch more stuff coming up on racerxonline.com. If you have any questions about this bike or anything else, Kris at keeferinctesting.com. I'm happy to help you. Don't forget to subscribe to Racer X Magazine. That's right, print is alive and well. I come from the print era. Do yourself a favor, get a year subscription. It's worth it. See you later.